Hi, everybody. This is Melanie, the director of the Pittsburgh Metropolitan Area Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to our Latino Pittsburgh Digital Speaker Series. Today, we're here with Angel Marschik. She is the Supervisory Lender Relations Specialist for the SBA here at the Pittsburgh office. And today, she's going to be talking to us about the PPP. Let's bring her in. Welcome. Hello.
Hello. Thank you, Melanie, so much for inviting me to speak today to your group. As Melanie said, my name is Angel Marschik. I am the Supervisory Lender Relations Specialist with the Pittsburgh District Office of the SBA. And this is such an important topic. We have to make sure that we are getting the word out, that people know how to apply, that people know what all is out there for them. And so I'm so excited to be with you today. Thank you for having me.
Well, we are so excited to have you. So as just a little background, I'm sure everyone by this point knows what the PPP is. It is COVID relief for small businesses. And in the last round, we talked a lot about how especially some of the minority communities had a harder time and lower numbers in securing those loans. So I want to start by saying if you guys want some information outside of this, you can visit the Chamber website, pmahcc.org/PPP. We do have a few checklists, and we also have a portal that's a streamlined process to help you through that makes sure that you have all of your documentation and gives you the best shot at actually getting the loan. So now I want to hear a little bit. I know that you have a presentation for us, Angel, but is there anything that you want to start with to tell us maybe how this time is different or just any little intro?
Absolutely. So what's different this time is really the second draw, and as well as the increase to the first draw. We have a lot of good responses from the banks. They're seeing more people who maybe didn't think qualified the first time around now are comfortable applying and are applying for the first draw loan. And this isn't part of our presentation today, but please be aware that the EIDL program is still open through December 31 of 2021. So if you have not also applied for one of our economic injury disaster loans, which we call EIDL loans, that is available to you as well. So if you've taken the first draw, you have the ability for the second. If you haven't applied, you can actually apply for first and second. And if you have not applied for the EIDL, that's out there for you as well. So a lot of programs, and we don't speak to pending legislation, but we've all been watching that the new president, President Biden, is looking at ways to enhance things for small business. So we believe more is to come. Stay tuned. And if more does, we're happy to come back on and speak to you and your group. But also wanted to I'm going to advance to this first slide, just to talk to everyone a little bit about, where, who we are, where we are in the Pittsburgh District Office. So the SBA has been around for a long time. And before PPP, everyone always said that we were the best kept secret, that, people weren't aware of us. And then all of a sudden PPP and EIDL came out and we are very popular.
You are no more.
No, absolutely no more. And what's great is, Melanie and I spoke before this, that our administrator has been very active in Western Pennsylvania. Headquarters realizes what a great community of small businesses we have in Western Pennsylvania. So we always get people here touring small businesses and outreaching to small businesses, even as Alan did. So we have 68 district offices across the United States. We are the Western Pennsylvania district office, and so we are the green side of the state. Those are the counties that we cover here in the Pittsburgh district office. We serve 27 counties. We have a sister organization in Eastern PA. If you happen to be joining us from Eastern PA, I have counterparts in the Eastern PA region. There are 7 disaster centers across the United States. By far, this has been our largest disaster that the SBA has ever serviced. Normally, it's tornadoes and hurricanes and wildfires burning across California. And this is by far our largest disaster. So all hands on deck. The SBA is committed to making this easy and the process streamlined to get as many people the help that they need. So what we're going to talk about a little bit today, just where we are, what some of the key dates were, our first draw loans, second draw loans, a little bit about the forgiveness, and what next? What are the additional resources we have for you? So, Congress intended this round of COVID aid to support the hardest hit small business. The first round was a little bit more open because the impact was so immediate and great on everyone. Now we're looking to see what businesses were able to recover, what businesses still needed our help, and we know that the hardest hit have been our underserved markets, our women, our minorities, our veterans. And so this second rollout is really intended to assure that those are the people that this new round of funding goes. So if you recall, the first round of PPP, people could get up to $10 million, which was really large, large businesses. This round, that has been significantly cut from 10 to 2 million. So we're really pushing the numbers down. That also means the availability of funds. Those funds aren't, if the funds are going at 10 million at a time, they're going a lot faster than if we're lowering that limit. Now, for those of you who got first round and it happened really quickly, our new platform takes a little longer for the lenders to input. Usually it takes a good 48-hour turnaround time from whenever submitted to us. The last time was a lot faster. So please, just want to make sure that you're aware to have some patience with your lender, and just to take a quick step back. These loans are not, the PPP loans are not available through the SBA. You'll have to work with your lender, whoever normally, the easiest person is who you bank with now. If you have checking accounts somewhere, if you have a relationship with a bank, they're usually who we suggest that you go to first. They are your best source of contact for the application process, because a lot of our banks, and we have a lot of very large banks in Western Pennsylvania, have their own platform. So you work through their platform to submit your application. You don't even need to go out to our website, grab a paper one, because they have a portal. So talk to your banks, make sure that you're doing it the way they need you to go out and apply on their platform. So some key dates that occurred this time around. So it opened the platform.
I was on mute. I wanted to add, also, there are a lot of places where you can get information for like what you need to apply, which I know we'll go through later. But if you guys want to just have somewhere easy that I know you're familiar with, on the Chamber website, we do have some of the checklists, and one of them was from the SBA. It's just pmahcc.org. And the portal on there also offers help in English and Spanish on the phone. So there are different resources. So, that's the platform that we have, Streamlined, but they're just whatever you're comfortable with. Just don't be, shy. Don't be worried. Don't hold back. There's no harm in applying. Is that right, Angel?
Absolutely. Please, if you have been impacted by this is the program that, is there for you. So, a lot of these dates have passed, and all you need to take away is that it's open. It's open everywhere now as of January 19th. You can apply for first draw, you can apply for second draw, you can apply for increases. Now, the increases are limited to certain areas where a mistake occurred, but by all means, apply for a second draw. So, what your takeaways from today, we hope that you have, is that we have expanded the PPP eligibility. Some people who were not eligible before are now eligible. Initially, when the program rolled out, it was for 8 weeks. It was extended to 24 weeks, and now the borrower, you can select what your need is. If you need 8 to 24 weeks, you have that second draw for the hardest of hit small businesses. What's really wonderful is that this is not taxable. It allows for deduction of expenses covered with the PPP loan. It's a very simplified forgiveness application now if you're 150 and under, and most of our hardest hit are. And the big thing that everyone was upset over was the EIDL was being subtracted from the PPP forgiveness. That has gone away. And as of yesterday, we started to reimburse the banks for those EIDL advances that were deducted. It will take some time. It will take us a couple weeks to get through everyone that occurred. But please know that it will no longer be subtracted. If the ratio is 60-40 for your payroll expenses, so that you reach that eligible forgiveness of 100%. And so the first draw, you're eligible if you did not receive a first draw prior to the program closing August 9th. You are eligible now. It includes more type of entities. A lot of our nonprofits were not eligible. It was only 501c3s, now it's 501c6s. We've expanded eligible expenses, and one of those expenses that has been included now is PPE. So if your business had to go out and buy sanitizers and buy masks and have cleaning, those expenses can now be covered in your PPP loan. You have to have been in business by February 15th of 2020, and you must apply. This is the key thing. You must apply before March 31st of 2021. Please be sure you apply early. The funds were exhausted in the past. This again is appropriated funds. There's a lot of funds, $85 billion. We've only used $100 billion so far, so there's plenty of money to still apply. You can apply for property damage. So when we had all of the riots in downtown Pittsburgh on Smithfield Street, storefronts, had glass broken out, you can now apply for property damage. Is included in those expenses. You can include those. And any supplier costs. So definitely a lot more.
So Angel, I want to point out there, there are a lot of people who had no idea that the PPE and all of those other things that they had to purchase for COVID. So, I mean, if you think of literally any business. I mean, you guys had to buy masks if you were going to do anything in person. You had to buy the dividers. There were so many things and so many expenses. If you had those expenses, you can qualify for the PPP. Of course, there are other things as well, but I know so many people think, oh, I'm not this type of business, that type of business. It has really expanded this time.
Absolutely. And so newly eligible are destination marketing organizations, Visit Pittsburgh, Visit Bedford, those type of places. Chambers of commerce were not permitted to apply the last round. Chambers of commerce have been added as an eligible entity who can apply for PPP assistance. So we encourage our chambers to now, they didn't have the ability before, they have the ability now. News organizations were not eligible. So you have currently your traditional sole proprietors, independent contractors, self-employed individuals, any type of business entity, partnership, corporation, LLC, S Corp, our 501c3 nonprofits, our veteran organizations, tribal businesses, where we have some in Western Pennsylvania, but we don't have as much as other states. And then you have the ability for a second draw. So if you got the money the first round, you've utilized that money, you may or may not have applied for forgiveness. You have to have used your money first round, and then you can apply for your second draw. The difference is from your first draw to your second draw, you have to be able to prove that you suffered a 25% reduction in gross receipts. So some borrowers are looking at it on a year basis. It only is one quarter. So if you look at the whole year, quarter by quarter of 2019, and look at it quarter by quarter in 20, most small businesses are easily able to show that 25%. If you are in a restaurant, if you're in any kind of food service, if you're in hospitality, we have not been traveling, we have not been eating out, you have not been allowed to be open, you've not been allowed to serve at your bars. So we have, for borrowers in general, the second draw follows that same 2.5 times average monthly payroll costs. If you are in an NAICS, a NAICS code of 72, which is our accommodation and food services, we've increased that to 3.5 times your average monthly, so that we know those are the people that were ordered to shut down repeatedly and ordered to limit how much they're open. You're allowed to apply for more. And so there's a new application. It's called a second draw application. You can find it on our website at sba.gov. You can find it on the Treasury's website at treasury.gov. And like Melanie says, she has a lot of information for you on her website at the Pittsburgh Metropolitan Area Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So please check all of our sites, keep them bookmarked. As anything new rolls out, it will be there. And what also is nice, because, again, targeting those hardest of hit, in the first draw, it was 500 employees or less. In the second draw, it's 300 employees or less. Again, making sure that our small businesses, our minority small businesses have that access. So, as I mentioned, you must have a first draw in order to have a second draw. You cannot overlap periods. So you had to have used your first draw for a certain period, come back, apply for a second draw for the new covered period of 8 to 24 weeks. You have to have used or will have used your first draw money, and you have to have that demonstrated reduction in gross receipts. And just keep in mind, it's just 1 quarter. Now they are calendar quarters, so look at January, February, March of 19. Nothing was happening, but maybe then you look at April, May, June. So you're using your calendar quarters, but you're comparing one over the other, and you only have to have one that has a 25% reduction. Often we've gotten several calls from people who thought maybe they hadn't, and we always ask them to check with maybe their CPA or accountant, whoever helps them with their tax returns. They could utilize, one of our SCORE partners, one of our SBDCs, just to make sure that you're double checking and you can take advantage. There's very few people or industries that were on target and didn't see some reduction. It's a hard 25%. I've gotten calls from people who are at 23.2. You have to hit that 25% threshold. The unfortunate things is more of the calls I get are as I'm at 50% or I'm at 65%. And so, this is the money for you. So how does it work? If your PPP loan is not forgiven 100%, so it's a fixed interest rate at 1%. It is non-compounding. It's non-adjustable, so it's not variable. It's going to be fixed at that 1%. There's no collateral. There's no personal guarantees. There are no fees. There are no prepayment penalties. We hope that if you keep good records and you use them for payroll, you're fine, and it will be forgiven. If you use it appropriately. If for whatever reason a portion of it isn't forgiven, it's a 5-year term at 1%. And
I have a question really quick. So
absolutely.
I know that scares some people. They're like, oh, I don't know how I would pay this back. Do you have anything about, how often that has happened so far, or why that would happen? I really want to reassure people. I don't want people to be afraid and think, oh no, what am I going to do?
Sure. Well, when the EIDL advance was deducted from the forgiveness, it was happening a lot. And so everyone had, a $5,000 to $10,000, $1,000 remaining balance. Absolutely. With this new legislation that went away with this Economic Aid Act, those who it was deducted from are given back, so they should not have loans. And quite honestly, the number has been extremely low. I have not personally in our district heard of anyone who was just found totally ineligible. So it could be ineligible, maybe you just didn't qualify. It could also be that people did not use the funds appropriately. This is to cover your payroll costs and on the covered periods, to help with rent, to help with mortgage interest, to now help with the PPE that you need, to put up the shields, to buy masks, to buy gloves, to sanitize. So as long as you're using it appropriately. Now, some people in the first round didn't fully utilize it. They used it and unfortunately may have shut down. And so if they didn't use it, you do have the option to pay it back. You could just, I've now gone out of business. I don't have payroll any longer, and you return the funds to the bank. But if you have kept the funds, then it becomes a loan to you over 5 years at 1%. But again, I have not heard anyone just totally not being forgiven out of our district yet, because they would have called our office saying they didn't get forgiven and what do they need to do for assistance. We work with the banks to make sure if the banks aren't asking the right questions, that, we're sure that the borrower has the opportunity, if they didn't submit the correct information, that they do submit the correct information to make sure that they are getting the forgiveness that they are entitled to. So don't hesitate, just keep good records. With anything, your business owners, you keep records for your taxes, continue to keep good records, and that will make this process so much easier. And ask for assistance. Like I said, SCORE and our SBDCs are here to assist you. Your lender is there to assist you. That is where your relationship is, and they want you in business. They want you to keep making deposits at their institution. So how does this application process work? So you find a PPP lender. And so, like I said at the beginning, we always talk to you about going to your lender, but you can also go to sba.gov/lender match. In the first round of PPP, that was not open for PPP. For people who may not have a banking relationship, you can go out to Lender Match and be matched with a national lender that is SBA approved for PPP. So take advantage of that. Make sure you write that down, sba.gov/lender match. You can go to our sba.gov PPP portal to find a bank to apply through. You can look at our local assistance for our resource partners. We'll be able to help direct you in completing your application. Make sure that you complete your application fully, include those supporting documents, get help from our resource partners, and then the lender is the one who submits your application electronically to the SBA for compliance checks and to actually get the approval of the loan number. So you again have to apply through a participating lender. After the lender's approval, because your lender is going to work with you, make sure you're eligible, make sure you have the right documentation. They approve it. They then submit the application with all the documentation electronically to the SBA, and it's not to the district office, it's to our national office. Everything's going into one central processing area where a front-end compliance check will occur. And to reduce the incidence of fraud, we've all heard of some fraud occurring. There is now a SBA-induced time lapse, which will occur from when the lender submits their PPP application to us and when we approve the loan, so we can verify some items that potentially might point to fraud. The PPP is open to all participating lenders across the United States, and they are the ones that submit until those funds are exhausted. So don't wait until the end. Make sure that you are getting in early. And so some additional resources that we have for you, just to make sure, again, we're pointing you to that lender match portal, because those are national lenders that across the United States are doing these PPPs in volume. So don't hesitate. I will tell you, please don't apply multiple places at once, because what happens when we do that 48-hour check, it may see that 3 banks submitted your application all at the same time because you applied at 3 places all at the same time. And that puts a hold on your account, and we have to figure out where you applied and who's going to make the loan to you. So apply to your lender, or apply, if you've been turned down. If you do not have a lender, apply through Lender Match, or apply to one institution wherever you would like. Just don't apply at the same time multiple times. That does throw a red flag into our system, and it looks like there is fraud, that someone's going out multiple times. So, resources available. We have a dedicated email box at wpainfo@sba.gov. I just got an email from someone this morning saying they tried to call our number there and the mailbox was full. They couldn't leave a message. We have people that are clearing that mailbox on an hourly basis, but as you can imagine, we are a small office. We have 9 employees covering 27 counties. So if you send it into that general wpainfo@sba.gov, those emails will be replied to. Reach out to us, and we have those SBDC resource partners. They are also funded by the SBA to help you with this. So please don't hesitate. I know we're really close on time. Melanie, I don't know if you want to take a question or two, or if we just want to have people to, instruct them to email us, and we will get back to their questions. But I hope this has been informative. It's a lot of information, but we want to make sure that you're applying. If you are eligible, please make sure you take advantage of these funds that are here for you and to assist.
And the worst is that you get rejected, right? I mean, you're not going to get the funds if you don't qualify. So I want to stress to people, if you're on the fence, apply. If you have questions, the portal on our website, it has help in English and Spanish on the phone, one-on-one. You can ask all those questions. You can call the SBA. You can call your lender. There are so many options. Do not leave this on the table. Especially, I know in round 1, there were a lot of people, especially in the immigrant communities, who were worried about different things. None of those fears came to fruition. The only thing that people feared was that they would miss out from not applying, and those fears definitely came true. There is no need to struggle. There's also no shame. Everyone is struggling. These are tax dollars that we have put into the system that we are getting to help us now. So there's no shame in it. Millions, billions of people probably have applied at this point. We do have a few questions. Angel, I'm not sure how you feel about time. I'm perfectly fine with taking a question or two. How are you?
I am okay. I need to be off. I have a hard stop at 11:45 because I have a 12 o'clock and I have to do a test.
Well, good luck on your test. I'm just going to pull these right onto the screen. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure. So we can read the comments. This is from one of our small businesses. So Shelvin owns Chicken Latino, which is a delicious restaurant if you haven't been there. The question is, the first round of PPP loans has helped my business survive. We hope that the second round will help us continue. Oh, that's so amazing. It's just a wonderful thank you that PNC is.
Will.
Oh, that's so great. Do you hear a lot of those?
Yes. And you know what? I just reached out. Patty Tascarella from the Business Times reached out to us this morning and said, what are you hearing? And we're hearing so many people were helped, and they're just excited about this new round. And so it's here, and that's what we are here for. So I'm seeing, what is the average time frame for approval?
Yes, well, Brandon Brooks, he actually has Inventrify, which is a crowdfunding platform. So we have a lot of business owners tuning in, which is great.
Great. So it depends. And like any other loan, it depends on how good you complete your application and supply the information. So if the bank gets, all of the information they need, all of the 941s, a completed application, we're seeing those turn rather quickly. Again, from our end, it's going to be at least 48 hours once the banks submit to us. So, we've seen banks do, I know personally, I have had local bank presidents reach out to me who are keying in an application, getting an error code, and want help. The banking community is 100% behind this program. They are working night and day, holidays, weekends to get these through. So I think you're going to see the turn times, as long as you have a completed application, be quick, but from our end, a minimum of 48 hours. But again, if you applied at 3 places, it's going to be 2 weeks till we can figure out what truly is the right place to put you.
I apologize. People are texting me. They're saying
Sure.
that put it on. So that's why I'm looking at my phone right now, just so you know. I did have someone say, what about gig workers and contractors? They didn't apply the first time. I know I did talk to this person about the difference this time. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Again, this time does allow for multiple versions of sole proprietors to apply. And, a lot of people call us directly, and we can't know everyone's individual situation to give them a yes, you're eligible, or no, you are not eligible. So we just advise those people to make sure that they are working with their banks or the lending institution whenever they are applying. If they would happen to apply through Lender Match, make sure that that is independent contractors, self-employed individuals that may not be a form of sole proprietor like a gig worker. Just make sure you're identifying yourself correctly on the application, but you can apply to your bank and they'll make sure that your current structure fits into our current structure.
So the next question I have on here is this person, they own a restaurant and they asked not to be named, but they said that they've already had to lay off a few employees, that the first round helped them, but since then they laid off quite a few people. Can they still get loan forgiveness even if those people are already laid off?
They would have to work with their bank to look at the time period. So, it's going to depend. And, again, unfortunately, we can't know everyone's situation, but as long as they spent the money in the time frame that they should have spent the money, ultimately, subsequently laid off people, they should be eligible for that forgiveness. And hopefully round 2 will allow them to bring those people back and start reemploying at least a portion of those people.
Wonderful. Okay, I have one more on text.
Sure.
I want to just call to anyone watching right now. If you have any questions, of course, we will be here later. If you guys submit questions, I can always send them over to Angel. But last call, if you want to put those in the comments. And then it says, when will I find out when my loan was forgiven?
Okay. So it's a process. So they have 60 days to apply. They actually have 10 months to apply. The banks have 60 days to review their forgiveness application, go back to them for any additional information that they may need. And then the SBA has 90 days after submitted. I will tell you, it's growing because we have 5.2 million first round PPP loans in the process of working through forgiveness. So everyone's working as quickly as possible. But, worst case scenario, once you submit it to your lender, they have 60 days. Once they submit it to us, we have 90 days. But your lender should be able to tell you once they've reviewed that they feel that it's eligible, that they're submitting it for full forgiveness, or they think it's not eligible and they're submitting it for partial forgiveness. But your lender will be able to tell you what because they're the ones making the recommendation to us, and then we review it and make sure that it's correct. So again, huge number of forgiveness, but every day people are being forgiven.
I love that. That is great. Thank you so much. And we have one last question in the comments, and then we are going to log out since you have about 2 minutes. Do you have access to financial resources for new businesses / SPPs?
So the SBA does not make any direct loans, but through your bank, and we have nonprofit lenders. So for startup small businesses, I might suggest that you look at one of our microloan lenders. We have multiple in Western Pennsylvania. Those are loans up to $50,000. They do require a business plan. They generally have terms of 4 to 6 years. But they are nonprofit intermediaries. And what's really great about our microloan program is that those intermediaries are required to provide technical assistance to the small business. So that could be in the form of helping them set up their QuickBooks account. That could be in the form of helping them potentially source a location for a retail space. It could be with helping them with web design, getting online. So those are all free resources with a microloan. Our traditional flagship 7A program is available for startups through your local banks. So absolutely, if you look at our website at sba.gov/Pittsburgh, at our district office, our resource guide is online. I know off the top of my head, Bridgeway Capital is one of our microloans. If you're in the Johnstown, Altoona, Cambria County area, it's Jari. On the north side, it's Northside Community Development. If you're in Washington, Allegheny, I think they cover 8 counties. It's Washington County Council on Economic Development. Do not shy away because their name says Washington County. They do cover, I believe, 8 counties, 7 or 8 counties across our footprint. So we have a lot of funds available for startups. So please look into them and take advantage of them.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being here. Everything that you do for all of our businesses every day. The PPP really has been tremendous and saved a lot of businesses. For those of you who may have tuned in late, this is Angel Marschik. She is the Supervisory Lender Relations Specialist with the SBA Pittsburgh District Office. If you missed the beginning, you can always come back later once it's uploaded and get the information. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. We will answer them later. But I want to thank you, Angel, before I do our little outro here, because I know you have a hard stop. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Melanie. Anytime.
Well, everybody, that was great. I hope that you all got the information that you needed. A little bit just about our platform, which I had told you guys about before. The Hispanic Chamber has teamed up with a bank to bring you a streamlined portal. And this will walk you through the whole process. We have a checklist on the website. Even if you don't use the portal, we have the checklist that you can use to make sure you have everything you need. When you go through this portal, it is a step-by-step process, and we have phone assistance in both English and Spanish. So this process will take you through and make sure that you have all of your documents in order and that you have the best shot that you can at getting the loan. Last time around, there were quite a few businesses, especially some of the underrepresented businesses had the higher numbers in this, where they were missing documents, things weren't filled out correctly, different things like that. just because they weren't provided the assistance that they needed, or they didn't have some streamlined way. So I suggest that you guys check that out. It's at www.pmahcc.org/PPP. And this was actually a part of our digital speaker series. The Latino Pittsburgh Digital Speaker Series is an initiative of the Pittsburgh Metropolitan Area Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Its goals are to share relevant information, inspire growth, and foster opportunity. Speakers include community leaders and members, as well as other individuals who have a positive impact on not only the Hispanic community, but the Pittsburgh region as a whole. If you want to become a speaker or know someone who would, please email chamber@pmahcc.org. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope that you tune in again to our next video. We will be speaking more with the PPP as well as other Latino leaders. Have a great day.